Chapter 1. Childhood and Family Roots, 1949 to 1967. Benjamin Netanyahu, known to many as Bibi, was born on October 21, 1949, in Tel Aviv, Israel, just a year after the founding of the Jewish state. He was the second of three sons of Benzion Netanyahu, a renowned Jewish historian and Zionist thinker, and Silla Siegel, a homemaker. The Netanyahu family soon moved to Jerusalem, where Bibi spent much of his early life. His father, Benzion, had a deep influence on him. A scholar of Jewish history and a fervent believer in Zionism, Benzion instilled in his sons a strong sense of Jewish identity, duty, and resilience. Young Benjamin was a quiet, serious child, fluent in both Hebrew and English. His family lived for several years in the United States, where his father worked as a professor. Bibi attended Cheltenham High School in Philadelphia, where he was known as Ben Nate and excelled academically, especially in public speaking and debate. Chapter 2. The IDF and the Legacy of Brotherhood, 1967 to 1972. At the age of 18, Netanyahu returned to Israel to serve in the Israel Defense Forces IDF. He volunteered for Sayeret Matkal, an elite special forces unit. There, he took part in numerous high-risk operations, including missions deep into enemy territory. Tragedy would shape the rest of his life. His older brother, Yonatan Netanyahu, also a commander in Sayeret Matkal, was killed in 1976 while leading Operation Entebbe, a daring mission to rescue hostages from a hijacked plane in Uganda. Yonatan died a national hero, and his death left an indelible mark on Benjamin's psyche and political thinking. After his military service, Bibi returned to the United States and attended MIT, where he studied architecture and business. He later pursued studies at Harvard, focusing on political science and international relations. Chapter 3. Diplomatic Rise and Public Voice, 1976 to 1988. Netanyahu entered the public arena as a diplomat. His fluency in English and American demeanor made him a natural spokesperson for Israel abroad. He was appointed to the Israeli embassy in Washington and later served as Israel's permanent representative to the United Nations from 1984 to 1988. During this time, Netanyahu became known for his sharp rhetoric and uncompromising defense of Israel's right to exist. He frequently appeared on American television, representing Israel's position with clarity and charisma. He authored several books, including Terrorism: How the West Can Win, cementing his role as a prominent voice on global security. Chapter 4. Political Entry and Meteoric Rise, 1988 to 1996. Netanyahu returned to Israel and joined the Likud party. He was elected to the Knesset, Israel's parliament, in 1988 and quickly rose through the ranks. By the early 1990s, he was serving as deputy foreign minister and later became chairman of the Likud party. In 1996, in a historic election, Netanyahu became Israel's youngest ever prime minister at age 46. His victory came shortly after the assassination of Prime Minister Yitzhak Rabin, a trauma that deeply divided Israeli society. Netanyahu ran on a platform of security and strength, appealing to Israelis concerned about terrorism and peace process concessions. His first term, 1996 to 1999, was marked by tension between the need for security and international pressure for peace. He signed the Y River Memorandum with Palestinian Authority President Yasser Arafat, but relations remained fragile. Chapter 5. Setbacks and Comebacks, 1999 to 2009. Netanyahu lost the 1999 election to Ehud Barak and took a temporary break from politics. During this time, he worked in the private sector and remained a frequent commentator on national issues. But the early 2000s were turbulent for Israel, marked by the Second Intifada, suicide bombings, and growing threats from regional enemies. Netanyahu returned to politics, first as finance minister under Ariel Sharon, where he implemented free market reforms, cut welfare, and privatized key industries. These moves were controversial but helped stabilize Israel's economy in the long run. After Sharon left Likud and formed Kadima, Netanyahu reclaimed Leadership of Likud and positioned himself for a return to power. Chapter 6. Return to power and longest rule, 2009 to 2021. In 2009, Netanyahu, who became prime minister again, and this time, he would stay for more than a decade. His second tenure was defined by strong economic growth, increasing international partnerships, especially with India, China, and Africa, growing tension with Iran, which Netanyahu labeled an existential threat, frequent military operations in Gaza in response to rocket attacks from Hamas. He clashed with the Obama administration over Iran's nuclear deal and addressed the U.S. Congress in 2015 in a controversial speech opposing the agreement. At home, his leadership was polarizing. Critics accused him of being divisive and undermining democratic institutions. Supporters praised his security-first approach and savvy international diplomacy. In 2020, Netanyahu forged historic normalization deals with UAE, Bahrain, Sudan, and Morocco called the Abraham Accords with U.S. backing under President Donald Trump. Chapter 7. Legal troubles and political crisis, 2016 to 2022. Despite political success, Netanyahu faced a series of corruption allegations. In 2019, he was formally indicted on charges of bribery, fraud, and breach of trust in multiple cases involving gifts from billionaires and alleged media manipulation. He denied all charges and framed the investigation as a left-wing political witch hunt. Israel went through a political deadlock with 5 elections in 4 years. As Netanyahu, who tried to form stable coalitions, the legal proceedings continued throughout, and the public remained divided. In June 2021, he was finally unseated after Naftali Bennett and Yair Lapid formed a unity government. Chapter 8. The Comeback Again, 2022 to 2024. Netanyahu, who made yet another return in late 2022, forming a coalition with several right-wing and ultra-Orthodox parties. This new government became Israel's most right-leaning in decades. He faced massive protests in 2023 over a judicial reform plan, which critics said would undermine Israel's democracy by limiting court powers. Meanwhile, tensions with Hamas, Hezbollah, and Iran continued. Chapter 9. The October 7th. War and Global Fallout, 2023 to 2025. On October 7, 2023, Hamas launched a brutal surprise attack on southern Israel, killing over 1,200 people and sparking Israel's most intense war in Gaza in decades. Netanyahu declared a state of war and launched a full-scale military operation in Gaza, with support from allies but growing international criticism over civilian casualties. The war led to unprecedented global debates about Israel's right to self-defense versus humanitarian concerns. Inside Israel, the public was shaken. Many accused Netanyahu of failing to prevent the attack despite years in power. Protests and political pressure intensified. By 2025, Netanyahu's political future remained uncertain. Despite multiple investigations, international backlash, and internal dissent, he remained a powerful figure. Some call him the most consequential Israeli leader since David Ben-Gurion. Chapter 10. Personal life, ideology, and legacy. Netanyahu, who has been married 3 times and is currently married to Sarah Netanyahu, with whom he has 2 sons, Yair and Avner. He is known for his mastery of media, sharp political instincts, and an ability to bounce back from the brink. To supporters, he's Mr. Security, a master strategist who kept Israel safe and advanced its global standing. To critics, he's King Bibi, accused of undermining institutions, fueling division, and putting personal power above national unity. Final words, a legacy still unwritten. As of 2025, Benjamin Netanyahu's story is still unfolding. He is a figure of great paradox, a statesman and a survivor, a lightning rod for controversy and a symbol of resilience. Whether history will judge him as a protector of Israel or a divider of its people remains to be seen. But one thing is clear: few leaders have shaped modern Israel more than Benjamin Netanyahu.